Opal is right here with us. So all those who listening to the rumors and sus about immigration matters, don't. We have Opal here. Good afternoon, Opal Lee. How are you?
Good afternoon, Vernon, and good afternoon to your listeners. Very well. How are you doing?
Not bad, and I must tell you, I've been getting some good feedback. I've shared the last discussion with some persons in the diaspora, and they were very thankful for the information. So I told them I would share that with you.
Awesome. That's what we're here to do.
Exactly. And I hope they support you too.
We should hope so.
Yes. What's new on that front or any other front, Travel Matters? What do you head off with
Right.
this
I
morning?
am. Last week, they made changes to the renewal of visiting visas. Now, everybody, if your visiting visa was renewed, has expired, even if it's been over or under 48 months, you will now be required to do an interview. If you remember, under the Biden administration, they had done it so that if your visa was recently expired, they could have waived or used their discretion to waive the interview, so you wouldn't have to go in. For example, if your visa was just expired last week, now under President Trump, he wants everybody. If your visa was expired last week, you will now be subject to a mandatory interview to renew.
So are we now to expect more crowds at the embassy?
Absolutely, because that had helped significantly with the backlog of the visas. But now with everybody needing to get an interview, you can definitely see it's going to be a long, long wait time now to renew those visas.
What a change. We see how things go. Interesting things are happening. Any more executive orders? I gather that the court is holding back one of these orders. I can't remember which one. Uh, I think you remember
No,
which one? I think there's one
no,
that the
there's
court
so
had put a
many.
stay. It's so
There's so
many.
many. There's so many. I remember he was challenging the birthright to
The
United States
birthright,
citizens
right.
be born, and so that is on hold. I know you'd
Just
like to
remind
talk
us
about.
about that, that is all about. The
Right. So
birthright.
basically, he was basically challenging those people who are born in the United States. If your parents, or if at least one of your parents,
Yeah.
does not have lawful status, then they're saying that you should not automatically become a United States citizen. Of course, that's been challenged, and so as of right now, that has been turned down. That's not happening right now, but we'll see how that goes. And I don't think he will be successful with that at all. But we'll just have to see how it goes.
I don't think so either. So any other executive positions are expected to be taken this week or the following week or two?
Every week there's something else. And it's just that a lot of stuff that he's trying to do, it has been shut down thanks to great advocacy,
Right.
I should say. So that's always awesome. But what I see that a lot of the states have been doing is that they're putting a lot of things in place to assist his mission in the mass deportation. So, for example, Florida
Yes.
has put a lot of things in place where Governor DeSantis has basically, and the Florida administration. So, for example, if you're entering the Florida and you entered unlawfully through the United States and you're coming through, you might now be subjected to fines. And also, if you commit a capital crime, right, as an immigrant in the in Florida, especially such as a debt, such as a capital punishment or a capital
Yes.
crime, they want it to now be mandatory for you to get the death penalty.
Oh, really? That's
Mhm.
very interesting. Now, there are some of us here in Jamaica. We have our own views, and what we need to understand that our views is neither here nor there in another country. Now, if they decide that if you come into their country illegally, that is a crime, you can't say, oh, the person is just trying to improve their economic status, and therefore they're not criminals.
Right.
There
A
will
lot of
be,
people,
Mhm.
that's very on point, Vernon, because a lot of people think they're, running from Jamaica or wherever their country of origin is by saying that they're trying to get a better life. But that is not a reason or a valid reason for asylum.
Yes.
You have to show that you're likely to be persecuted in
Mhm.
your home country and by your home, government. So it's
Yes.
not that easy. And you have to also be in a protected class. And that's why this administration now has made it so that, they're rapidly having those asylum determinations. Usually people would bank on it, even though they know they don't have a solid case. They were banking on the fact that, okay, I'll just file asylum. I know eventually it's going to be denied. But in the meanwhile, I know I'm not going to get a hearing for what, 4 years, 3 years,
Okay,
5 years.
really?
And in the
Yeah.
meanwhile, I would get a work permit. Well, no, 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 no. Now it is that they're adjudicating those cases so fast. So maybe within about a couple of weeks or so, you're going to know one way or the other, and you're going to be booted out of the US. So the point is do not waste. And sometimes people spend a lot of money to enter the United States, meaning they go through
Yes.
different organizations or people who charge them thousands of dollars to get them here. And so can you imagine you're doing that and it's all for naught, because then you're being removed from the United States within a week or two. So I would say instead of spending that money, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know where people get some of these monies from, and they get it. And the thing is that instead of spending the money and doing it that way, why don't you speak with a professional, an attorney like myself who could guide you accordingly? Because sometimes there's other ways for you to get that visa to come here. A lot of people haven't even tried applying for a visiting visa, for example, because they said, you know what, my friends tried and they didn't get it, or somebody told me not to even
Mm.
waste my time, and they don't even try for themselves. So I would say seek professional, even if you don't use my office, but just seek professional advice from an immigration attorney and just be guided accordingly.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of panicking going on rather than seeking professional advice. I would say to people that it is better for you to seek professional advice and they tell you don't have a chance and you pay $10 for it rather than going to somebody who will tell you you have a chance and they charge you $40,000 when you really don't have a chance.
Absolutely. And then you're looking at getting your situation even worse, in a worse
Yes.
state than what
Mhm.
it was originally.
Right.
And maybe relief that would have been available to you had you gone the right way. Now you don't really have those
Mhm.
reliefs anymore.
What I note, I gather, I'm not too sure what's the latest position on that, but I know it was challenged in terms of aid being given to other countries. But it would seem to me that if I was the president, I would say no. Stop giving aid is not in the U.S. interest because, in actual fact, this is my opinion, listeners, that when you give aid to other country, you're going to give it into your exchange, your funds, your US funds. Those countries are getting aid now. They now have to purchase from your country and using your currency. Also, when you give aid, is a way of improving your standing in the world, and it's part of PR. When you cut that out, other countries might step in and fill that void. Then you're going to lose. You won't be the powerful USA you once was. I don't know. That's just my
That's
thinking
true.
of the
That
matter.
somebody else might step in that position.
Yes, yes. So I find that position kind of, what's the word, myopic.
Hmm.
Um, we have to watch that one. We saw things go. We have what? Another what, 3 years or so plus few months. We see what happens. But then again, and then there are some Jamaicans who will disagree with certain decisions that the president has made. And they always say that at least he say what he was going to do, and he is now doing it. We can't say that he made promises that he did not attempt to keep. Some of them he can't keep it at all because there's the very strong judicial system. And that's one thing we must understand about the United States, which we probably should adopt. They have strong, very strong lobby groups in America. They stand up and they have the judicial system that they can lead on. Although for the Supreme Court, we know that Mr. Trump has a number of his persons there, but there are certain things that you have to go with the law.
That's absolutely true. But a lot of people, I don't know why they're surprised. They're like, oh, I didn't know he would do all of this or he would
Yes.
go to the extent. But I think it is that they didn't know it would have happened to them. They knew it would have happened,
Ah,
but they
I
thought that
see.
it would have
We'll be
been
all
to a lesser
right.
extent to them. Correct.
That reminds me of crime. Um, it wasn't me, and it's not going to be, so I'm really not concerned. You are absolutely correct, and especially those who have their documents all settled and everything, they say, not me. So they want those who are not sorted out, they want them out. And by the information that I'm getting, many persons who are fighting, those who are there illegally, their forefathers and others, went to the United States illegally. Some of them even captured lands and put off those persons who are indigenous to the United States. Interesting. Well, time has slipped by, and let's tell us how we can keep in touch with you openly.
Thank you as always, Vernon. So Opal Lee, the phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That's 876-854-3599. In the United States, it's 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. Our website is www.flowjamlegal.com. Thanks, Vernon, and have a wonderful rest
You
of the
sure you
day.
have a final point you want to make before you leave, or you're okay?
No, we're okay now with that.
I know, Pearl, and I do hope that those information that we are sending around, that Jamaicans and other people, they look out for it. And we've tried to make sure that Opal is heard all over the place. So those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Thank you very much, Opal. You have a wonderful day.